So let's talk about Social Security, because over the past few days, we have been getting several updates, one of which has to do with DOGE and the Supreme Court. We'll get to that later on in this video. But first, we need to talk about how right now, more than 2 million Social Security recipients have actually received an increase, but there's about 900,000 other Social Security recipients that are due to get this increase. However, we could also see delays from Social Security as far as millions and millions of paychecks. This is a concern. And the reason for that, and I'll get to more specifics in a moment, is a lot of these additional increases have to be processed by hand. So again, it's concerning. But there's another big concern that I want to break down. And again, this is potentially going to cause disruptions to not only the Social Security Administration, but potentially to your monthly benefit. So I'm going to break all this down in just a moment, explain what is going on and how you will be impacted or potentially impacted here in the very near future. But first, before I get to this update, all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So let's get to the big news as of today. Look at this right here. This article says 91% of Social Security Fairness Act benefit increases. Lumped sum payments have been processed. Here's what you need to know. That the Social Security Fairness Act, which was signed under former President Joe Biden, this has gone into effect, and now we know that about 2 million people that have that previously were not getting this benefit, their checks are increasing substantially. Some are seeing an increase of $1,500 a month. It's massive. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this to your attention, okay, is because this is where things get interesting. I want to read this to you really quick. It says right here, the Social Security Administration has now processed about 91% of cases related to a new law that is prompting higher benefits and lump sum retroactive payments for nearly 3 million people. However, they've only sent out about 2 million checks. Okay? Here's the reason why this is a huge deal. Look at this right here. It says Social Security sounds the alarm on possible payment delays. Okay? This was just from yesterday. Now, why would Social Security be concerned about a potential delay? Well, let's read this. It says right here, Social Security workers are sounding the alarm for that some beneficiaries could see payment delays as the agency undergoes significant changes in the next few weeks. It says employees at the Social Security Administration told USA Today that thousands of Americans could see delays or stopped checks as officials have instructed workers to focus on roughly 900,000 complicated cases this month. Okay, according to one of my sources, and this is not a top employee from the Social Security Administration, okay? This person works for the Social Security Administration and is just keeping me a little bit more informed. Here's what she said. She simply said that they were instructed to focus on the additional 900,000 cases from the Social Security Fairness Act to ensure that those payments get out. Okay? They're a little more complicated, and I'll explain that in just a second. But the reason why this is important is because if all Social Security employees focus on just the 900,000 cases from the Social Security Fairness Act and getting that money out the door and ensuring that people are, it's the right bank account, right information, right? They're not going to receive overpayments, right? There's no, mishandling of money here. That is going to potentially delay other recipients. This is an issue. Let's read this. It says what to know. It says SSA employees told USA Today that Social Security recipients who are making simple changes like location or bank account updates, could face a longer wait than usual. This will potentially cause delays as the agency focuses on the 900,000 remaining cases. It says right here, this is Drew Powers, the founder of Illinois-based Powers Financial Group, said, the changes are a response to the Social Security Fairness Act, which provided benefits for those who paid into the system but were otherwise ineligible for Social Security, including police, firefighters, teachers, and other public servants. Here's why. More than 2 million of these cases were straightforward enough to be automated, but the remaining 900,000 cases are more complicated and must be approved by hand. Now, we knew there's going to be complications, right? This was nothing new. But as this is happening, and again, this is the problem, as this is happening, we still have the Trump administration is attempting to get the one big beautiful bill passed. Okay? So that right there, and many people are upset because there is no elimination of taxes on Social Security benefits. Instead, there's a $4,000 boost to the standard deduction for Social Security recipients that file taxes. So not everybody's going to benefit from this. So not only do we have to see 900,000 cases or claims be approved by hand, we also have the one big beautiful bill, and then we learned about this. It says the Supreme Court grants DOGE access to confidential Social Security records. Now, how is this going to play out? Well, here's the problem. Many people were concerned that by giving DOGE access to the Social Security Administration's, private files, okay, our confidential information, this could potentially open up more doors for, to find fraud, wasteful spending, and abuse. Yes, could also open up more doors to potentially create chaos within the system. I want to read a couple things to you. Okay? Look at this right here. It says it's complex interconnected systems. It says as with the IRS systems to which DOGE has already sought access. Okay? So DOGE is already looking into the IRS system. Now they have access to the Social Security system. They can potentially cross-reference those and see if they match up. If they don't, for whatever reason, they could potentially come after somebody for overpayments or potentially fraud. Let's keep reading this. It says the SSA systems are old, complex, interconnected, and run on programming language developed decades ago. If you make a change to one system, it could trip up another if you don't know what you're doing. It also says, and this is just at the IRS. There are concerns that if DOGE team members get access to the SSA systems and seek to make changes directly or through an SSA employee, they could cause technical errors or base their decisions on incorrect understandings of the data. Not only that, the data could be wrong. If somebody makes a small tweak and now the systems aren't communicating with each other properly, that could actually create really misinformation. And if somebody gets their amount, their monthly benefit amount is X, but yet that is not the correct amount, it could be an overpayment, which then they will have to pay back. Or it could be something that's an underpayment, which we hardly ever see, but it could happen, and somebody could go their entire life not getting the correct amount, and they would never know the difference. I want to keep reading this to you. Okay? But I want to show you one other thing right here. It says right here, access to SSA data had always been tightly restricted. It says SSA's data systems are housed in locked rooms, and permission to view, never mind alter, information on them has always been highly restricted. Roaming, he said, noting that she was fingerprinted and had to pass a background check before being allowed to view data for her research while at the agency, and it could only be data that had no personally identifiable information. This is where things get interesting. The Department of Government Efficiency now has access to personally identifiable information. Like, nobody wanted Elon Musk to have it, right? Nobody wanted that. But now the Department of Government Efficiency has access to it. They also have access to the IRS. They have access to many other systems. What's going to happen? Okay, and again, we're gonna see this play out. Okay, there's not much we can do now, but what's going to happen is they are going to likely cross-reference the information that they see within the IRS, within the Social Security Administration, possibly other systems as well, and see if somebody is falsifying information to the IRS. See if they're doing more for Social Security, but when it comes to the IRS, when it comes to filing for benefits, maybe for food stamps or for housing, their name could pop up, their Social Security number could be there, and their information could be completely wrong. This is where the Department of Government Efficiency is going to step in. And again, this is where they believe they are going to find fraud and wasteful spending. So, we'll see, but the one thing I can tell you right now is everything that's going on within the Social Security Administration will be impacted as a result of President Trump's one big beautiful bill. We just don't know exactly what that bill is going to look like. Again, we have an idea of what the House passed, but what is the Senate going to do? Well, we'll find that out soon enough, and as we do, I promise I will bring you all the latest news and updates as soon as we get them. But as of today, that is what we know. So, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.